our book. But you will notice, of course, that the last book actually in the Hebrew Bible is the Chronicles. Now, this is the Bible of Jesus. In fact, how do we know that that Jesus has this sequence? For example, in Matthew chapter 23, during the wars against the Pharisees and the Sadducees, he said, shall we read this together? Begin.
There are you, prophets and wise men and scribes. Some of you will kill you and crucify, and some will flog you in synagogues and persecute you from town to town, so that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on earth, from the blood of righteous will be the blood of Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, who murdered his
Jesus was trying to narrate that these Pharisees and Sadducees, the leaders of the Jewish nation, actually is trying to kill all the prophets, the God-sent people, the speaker of God. They try to kill all of them from the book of Genesis to the book of Chronicles. So Abel, you will find in Genesis chapter 4, and Zechariah, the story of Zechariah the priest, is found in 2 Chronicles chapter 24. So he is the last martyr. So the first martyr was Abel, the last martyr was Zechariah, and they were all dead. Okay, so this is how we appreciate the book of Chronicles. So how does the Bible end? So this is how the book of Malachi ends. That's why Malachi is not read as a whole by the Jews. So when they have a reading, they skip Malachi because they don't want the words that is given by Malachi. For example, the last verse in the book of Malachi, shall we read this in the verse 6? Read together, begin.
And he
will turn the hearts of fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the land with a decree of utter destruction. So, in a way, the words of Malachi is actually a curse. It's like a horror movie. In verse 1, we read, begin. For behold, the day is coming, burning like an oven, when all the arrogant and all the evildoers will be stubble. The day that is coming shall set them ablaze, says the Lord of hosts, so that it will leave neither root nor branch. So, yung Malachi, by tradition, is not read completely by the Jews, because the words here, not only because it reflects the coming of the Messiah, which is being quoted by the Christians, but because it is also a curse against them. Now look at the last book of Chronicles, 36 maybe. Okay, just check which. So this is the book of the story of Cyrus, and this verse you will find in Chronicles idudugtong sa book of Ezra, because this will be quoted also by Ezra. And a lot of people, when we studied Ezra and Nehemiah, we said that the book of Chronicles is actually written by Ezra, because Ezra is a scribe. So basahin natin, together begin. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, the word of the Lord in the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and was put in writing. Thus has the king of Persia, the Lord of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and has charged me to build him the house of Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Whoever is among all people, may the Lord his God build him, let him go up. Testament of the Hebrew Bible, regardless of their time. So, nung they were in exile, they were in Babylon, they were in Persia, during the time, even the Holocaust, after the AD 70, when they were kicked out of Jerusalem by General Titus, and they were dispersed throughout the world. So talagang when they read the book of Chronicles, they always have that hope. Ano yung hope nila? That someday they're going up and they're going back to Jerusalem. And so the word here, let him go up. The word go up means aliyah. And so when you talk to a Jew, and he will tell you, okay, I'm doing aliyah next year. What does he mean? He means that he is going to have a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. So yun yung ano niya. And you have to remember that the feasts na pinescribe ni Moses sa mga Jew requires that at least 3 times in a year they should go to Jerusalem and celebrate in the temple. So ito yung concepts ng Chronicles. So dalawang bagay makikita natin, yung main plot ng Chronicles against the kings. Sabi nga, when you read the book of Kings and then suddenly sa Bible, Christian Bible, after the book of Kings, we will find the book of Chronicles. And then, pag binasa ko, teka, sabi mo, basa ko na to Tatapos ko lang basa yung storya ni David, balik na naman tayo kay David. And then when you look at it, it's almost similar. Parang ganun din. And then as you go on, the story of Solomon, Rehoboam, Jeroboam. So, pare-parehas hanggang madulo hanggang sa end part. So sabihin mo, hindi ko na kailangang basahin to. I'll just skip and then jump to the next book. Which is a wrong thing. Mali. Kasi iba yung purpose ng Chronicles. And we will try to examine the purposes of the Chronicles. Balik tayo ngayon sa 1948 when we have the Zionist movement at ibinalik yung mga Hudyo sa kanilang lugar ngayon. Don't you know that most of the Jews na nandun ngayon does not believe in God? Do you know that most of the prime ministers and leaders na nandun sa Jewish nation, when they were established, hindi sila naniwala sa Diyos. And they died, do not believe in God. The concept of the book of Chronicles is that it is a spiritual pilgrimage. It's a spiritual thing going back to Jerusalem. Dalawang bagay. They are going to visit again the royal line. They have a connection with the royal line, the royal nation, the priesthood of nation. And then number 2, that they are associated with the temple. Templo. And what is the temple? There is the presence of God. There is where they worship the true God. So yun yung connection. And that is the hope of every Jew actually when this book of Chronicles were written. Sa ngayon, wala na yan. That's why a lot of times when you talk to a Jew, and actually, kukunti yung kilala ko na Jew. Okay? Pero a lot of those that I meet, either they are Christians or they do not believe in God. Ganun na. There was a film lately, a movie about sa mga Jews na kalimutan ko yung title. Pero alam mo yung prayer nila sa movie, sabi nila, Lord, sawa na kami sa pagiging chosen people mo. Pwede ba choose mo na lang yung ibang tao? Kasi sawa na kami sa persecution. Kinakatay na kami, araw-araw na lang kami pinapatay. Sabi niya, halos mabura na kami sa mundo. Pwede ba piliin mo ibang tao na lang, huwag na kami. So that is the prayer of the rabbi na nag-agree yung na nakikinig sa kanila. This was the time nung World War II. So talagang they feel really yung pain ng being the chosen people of God and being persecuted. Pero ang totoo, most of them does not even believe in God. So yun yung masahol. That's why ngayon pag tiningnan natin, people of God andun sila sa Israel and they're trying to protect the boundaries of Israel. But most of them, okay, believe in a God that is not the God that we believe in, and a lot of them does not even believe in God. So, maganda yung words ni Jesus yung sabi niya sa Matthew chapter 23, sabi niya, you know what, sabi niya, we will only meet again, magkikita tayo ulit once you believe in me. Yun lang. Kaya nga concept talaga ng second coming, there will be a national upheaval doon sa Israel, wherein the nation of Israel, generally, most of them will believe Jesus as the Messiah. So yun yung madalas na napapakinggan natin sa eschatology. But again, ito yung hope ng mga Hudyo. Now, when we look at the principles of Chronicles at saka Kings, ito yung matatandaan natin. How do they differ from the other Bible narratives? Madalas kasi pag nagbabasa tayo ng Bible, akala natin dahil sinasabi dun sa Bible, kinikwento, binibigay yung parang example, ay susundin na natin. Okay? So Jesus, Judah hung himself. So sabit mo na yung leg mo kasi nakita mo sa Bible. So anything na nakikita mo sa Bible, susundin mo. At talagang stupido ka. But then, would you believe na nung bago tayong Christian, ganun yung challenge sa atin? Na basta nakita natin sa Bible, susundin natin. Kasi akala natin lahat na nakasulat sa Bible, magiging modelo sa gagawin ko. So, pero hindi ganoon. Ang problema, kasi yung narrator o yung kukwento ng mga narrative, hindi naman sinasabi kung tama o mali yung ginawa. Okay? Ito yung makikita mo sa Genesis, Exodus, hanggang Joshua, hanggang Judges. So, madaming walang comment yung historian, yung nagkukwento. But not in the book of Kings and Chronicles. So, Kings and Chronicles, sasabihin nila, ang kwento na isang hari, sabihin nila kung tama yung ginawa ng hari at hindi. At saka sasabihin din nila kung saan sila nagkamali at kung saan sila naging tama. Okay? So ito yung kagaya ng Book of Kings and Chronicles with regards to narrative. Kasi meron silang evaluation of the life and also conclusion. And sometimes they have some sort of a summary. So sinasummarize ka lang, ang buhay mo summarize in one paragraph. Okay? Tingnan natin kung ano yan. So, ang Kings and Chronicles, ang kaparehas niya is that there is the process of selection. Pumipili sila ng kwento and then they try to connect yung kwento. So unang makikita natin is that ang connection talaga is on the kings, yung royal line. So talagang dikit na kinukwento yung anak nito, anak nito, anak nito, anak nito, anak nito. Kasi they want to make sure that the promises made to Adam sa Genesis 3:15, dugtong-dugtong yon hanggang sa Messiah. So talagang pursigido sila na i-present yung Chronicles, yung genealogy na ang anak ng anak ng anak. So makita natin kwento ng hari, namatay siya, ang anak niya, namatay siya, and we lost track dun sa northern tribes kasi hindi na sila kamag-anak ni David. Okay? So wala nang kwenta yung northern tribe kasi wala na yung royal line doon. And then, after the connection, they will try to evaluate kung yung sinunod ba nitong hari ay yung mabuting hari o yung masamang hari. Okay? So, ilan ang mabuting hari sa divided kingdom? For example, there were 13 kings in the northern tribe, there were 13 kings in the southern tribe. So, sumula sa kay Rehoboam at saka sa kay Jeroboam nung maghiwalay na. So, 13 kings sa kabila. Ilan sa northern tribe ang mabuting hari? Out of the 13, ilan ang mabuti sa Israel? Sa 10 tribes. Okay? 13. 13 na masasamang kings. 0 with regards to mabuting king. So sa northern tribe, 0 sila. Walang score. When you go to Judah, ito ngayon yung pinili ng Panginoon. Ito yung sa line ni David. Out of 13, ilan yung kings na talagang more or less mabuti? Okay? Out of 13, there are 5.
5 only.
Okay? I-mention natin mamaya kung ilan yung, sino yung mga 5 na yan. Of course, merong mga hari kasi na the worst king, tapos ang ending niya biglang naging mabait. Kilala niyo yon? He was the worst king of Israel, but at the end of his life, he asked repentance from God, and he was forgiven. Grabe, no? He was the worst king. He was the reason why the tribe of Judah was exiled. Imagine mo. Pero, nag-repent siya in the end of his days. Anong pangalan niya? King Manasseh. Okay, si King Manasseh, he was the worst king. Okay, and yet he repented at the last days. Okay, so nung pagpipili yung king sa Chronicles, paano pumili? So unang makikita natin, Chronicles selected only the good kings. So, pag binasa mo yung Chronicles, wala na yung northern tribe doon. Hindi niya na ikukwento. Magkukwento lang siya, ma-mention niya lang yung king, northern tribe na king in relation sa southern tribe. Naaway siya nito, nag-away sila nito. Pero walang kwento doon sa northern tribe na mga hari. So, nakafocus lang siya sa mga mabubuting hari. So, especially sa 5 hari. So, mahaba yung kwento niya doon. And ang kwento niya, nakafocus sa 2 bagay. How these kings relate to the Ark of the Covenant and to the temple. So, palaging, ang sinasabi niya, itong mga kings na to, naging mabuting kings kasi talagang inalagaan nila yung templo at pinangalagaan nila yung Ark of the Covenant. Naging faithful sila sa Panginoon through serving the temple. So when you talk about temple, yung mga Levites, yung mga sacrifices, yung mga regular na mga feast, ginagawa ninyo. Tapos, pag tinignan mo, yung kings kasi, they started with the story of Samuel. So hanggang doon lang. And then they will end up sa king na napunta sa exile. Pagdating mo sa First Chronicles, nagsimula siya, alam mo kung saan ang kwento. Adam, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. So talagang kinwento niya yung relationship ng mga hari doon sa kay Abraham, sa kay Adam na anak na ginawa ng Panginoon, kay Abraham, wherein the promises of God was made. And then, merong dugtong. 2 sanga, ikwento niya, yung sanga ng haring si David, at saka yung sanga ni Aaron at saka ni Levi na mga pare. So, ang magiging focus na istorya ng Chronicles ay ang mga kaparian at ang mga mabubuting hari na Judah. Kaya ang yung magiging dugtong sa istorya natin, we will be royal priesthood. Royal, pero priest. Priest kings ang tinutukoy dito. And then, of course, ang pinaka-dinidiin na magiging mahabang kwento is with David and Solomon. So, sinabi nga na walang kwento na masama kay David. That's why si David ang naging model or ideal king para sa mga Hudyo. Kung babasahin nila ay Chronicles lang. So kung Chronicles na yung babasahin mo, walang ginawang masama si David. So kung maglalagay ka ng modelo na sasabihin mong Messiah ay tulad ni David, ay tulad ni